Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is George with you, Map Real Talk Show. George and Emmy here. We are at Southgate Church in Phoenix, Arizona, and the ceremony just finished. We just ended it. And of course, I cannot just not help it, but to speak to, to speak some candidates, as you all know. This is Map. As you know, we're all over the map. Sir, I know we spoke in the past. This is not our first interview. This is our second interview with you. But sir, what are your plans right now and what's happening with Rego? What's his name? Your opponent.
Raul Grijalva.
Raul Grijalva, right? What is happening, right? Can you elaborate a little bit for us? What's happening?
Well, Raul has been there for 20 years. He's
Right.
a person who's been
Well, that's why I went there, because
yeah.
he's been there like the longest.
neglecting our district. Our district is 82% of the border. All the
Right.
ports of entry from Mexico are in our border.
Right.
So we have a lot of problems. Smugglers, cartels, fentanyl, is really hurting our
Well, if
district.
you wanna talk to the camera and tell the viewers, because you have the most strictest area for the border, right?
Yes.
Most from what I saw. Can you give us exactly where your borders are,
Yeah.
so the voters understand where you, so they could vote for you, sir?
Yeah. So the border starts in Yuma. My
Right.
district starts in Yuma, goes up to Douglas, Cochise County.
Right.
420 miles of border.
Right.
So this is a congressional district in the USA with the biggest portion of the Mexican-U.S. border. So it is a very important race.
Yeah,
What is
I was,
happening in the border is a disaster. I walk the border, I walk the cartel trails. I spend a lot of time in the border seeing how the smugglers and the cartels are running our borders.
But what do you think of his legislature that has been there for 20 years, right?
Yes.
Like it's almost like grandfather in some sort of a
Yeah.
situation. I'm not against anyone.
Yeah.
We're speaking about what's happening at the border and everyone else. We don't mind people coming in illegally. We always say that because a lot of people say that we think we're against illegals. Most of us came legally.
Yes.
And when I say that, it takes a lot of time to wait and all that people. But now what we have in, sir, since you're running for office, is not about just people want to come to have a better living. We have cartels and we have drugs smugglers and so on. Is there something you want to, can we do something about it right now? I know if you get voted in, it's not going to be until 2023. But what are we going to do right now? What do you suggest?
Well, the border have a lot of gaps.
Right.
And Border Patrol basically lost 20% of the forces. Border Patrol, 30% of the active Border Patrol agents are working in offices, filling out paperwork for that side list. So you lost basically 50% of the force. Before you have 40 academies, now you have 13 academies. The cartels are taking advantage of us, what we do. And we have groups in America that are helping the cartels in specific areas, that walk, or they are called the cartel trails. And one day I can take you there and you can see what
I would love to.
how humanitarians, they are called, or humanitarian groups, are providing logistics to the cartels. We have probably mapped 400 to 500 water and food drops in the American side. And if we didn't have that, it would be very hard for the cartel to traffic all these people and drugs.
What can we do if my name is Luis right now, and I'm running for Congress, as you know, and I'm trying to get the votes within the vicinity of my area, let's say, which is Yuma and all the way down. Sir, you have to surround yourself with a component of you're running as a GOP, am I correct?
Yeah. Yes.
As a GOP, are you connecting with the GOP party? Are you connecting with the other legislatures or people already in office within the GOP party?
Well, my movement is a grassroots movement.
Right.
I'm not get elected with the votes of other people running or from other people that are elected.
Right.
I get elected by with the people, and that's the movement that we create. This is a movement where we're going to take back the seat from a very bad politician and giving back to the people. That's why I'm running for Congress. I'm taking this seat back to the people, not to the party. I believe in the values of the Republican Party, but the party has decided to never help any candidate running in this district.
So that's what was my question. But
Yeah.
you still, yes, you need the grassroots. This station, Map Real Talk Show, is about grassroots.
Yes.
And I also, just to let you know, today we combined with the all conservatives. We're working together because we at church here. We decided to combine our forces. If you notice, the sound man, the guy
Yes.
from Texas, we worked collectively together. Is there something the GOP is going to do? Like now, Map Real Talk Show with the all conservative station, we working together on the spot of the moment today. It wasn't like planned. Is there something in your category that can be that way? Because you still need your constituents sometimes, not only just the grassroots voters,
Yeah.
you also need some sort of a stability within your reach.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, there are a lot of counties and chairmen and GOP county chairmen and a lot of PCs supporting my
Right.
movement. At the Arizona level and national level, the Republican Party have not even
Right.
reached to me. And I talked with the other candidates that ran in the last 10 years,
Yes.
and it's the same situation. So for whatever reason, you have a district with the biggest portion of the border and a district with the mining. So you think about 74% of the copper used in America comes from my district. And Raul Grijalva has been fighting mining, has been fighting trade, has been fighting businesses. Our people are struggling to pay their bills, especially now with inflation and gas prices. And you have a guy who is anti-business, and he got a machine behind him who is anti-business. Think about mining 74% of the copper. So Raul is pushing for electric cars. Where the copper for electric cars is coming? A Tesla
Right.
need 400 pound, 500 pound of copper. So it's very interesting to see that the state and national level, the Republican Party in the last 10 years, never been interested to defeat a bad candidate, a bad guy. He's very lazy. He doesn't work. He's not connected with the people. But they're not interested to defeat him.
So this is the other question that I always like. It's a mind boggle for me is they sleep for 20 years. Let's say I'm talking about politicians in
Yes.
general. I could go even to Washington. The same thing. They're there for 35 years voting. Who votes them in? So what do you think about voting? How's that working out for? How could someone be in an office for 20 years, but yet he's not campaigning? All of a sudden he feels a little threatening. Now he's campaigning in your district.
Oh yeah, he's
Can you
campaigning.
explain this to me?
Well, like I said, I don't think he's been very strong candidate. But
Right.
what I can say is that he had a machine, and our party has been sleeping there, so they were have not been serious about taking him down. And the second problem you have is election integrity. This was an issue. The party doesn't want to talk, and I was skeptic about talking,
Right.
even when I knew what happened in November 2020.
Right.
But if you go to my district, we have so many C3 organizations
Right.
that they are working for the Democratic Party. As you saw on Friday, the ex-mayor of San Luis, Arizona, which
Right.
is my district, she pled guilty of a felony for ballot harvesting.
Yes, I saw that.
That happened on Friday. So and the investigation keep going. And this is a problem. That's a big problem that we have in our district, especially South Tucson, Nogales, San Luis, and Summerton, Yuma, where you have this organization harvesting ballot for the Democratic Party.
Well, are you aware of, do you know he's running for Senator candidate Gary Snyder
Yes.
and David Lara?
Yes, I know
How's
David,
your relationship with them? Because this is a guy that nobody talks about, David Lara. He's been doing this for 20 years with them. Nobody knows, just finally he came out to the scene, but the truth to be told. And Gary Snyder also is a big advocate because he also was many times over a volunteer contributor with Map Real Talk Show. He gave us to break the news.
Yes.
And I want to know that stuff. So all this hard work, do you get involved with them as well?
Yeah, I work a lot with David, and again, David is the guy who's been really doing this for
Yes,
20 years
but-
and fighting and making a lot of enemies. And I have a lot of respect for David. He's a tough guy, And,
Well, I know. As soon as I
yeah.
posted him, I got all these negative emails.
Yeah,
all
yeah,
these
yeah.
negative.
Oh, yeah.
So that means he's doing something
Yeah,
good.
he's doing something good. David,
On target.
we talk at least 2 times a week with
nice.
David, and we are
I like David.
very connected, and especially on this issue, to
Yeah.
understand, you put in a lot of effort to run a race, and we are doing this for the people. I'm not doing this for power
I
or
could
money.
tell, yeah.
I don't need that. I don't need the job. I make more than a congressman make.
Right.
So you want to be sure that the elections are fair.
You're paying back. You want to help the country
Oh,
back.
I'm going to help the country
That
back.
took care of you.
But we need to be sure the elections are fair, and every vote count
Right.
and count only one.
Right.
It's not very difficult. It's nothing racist about saying, hey, I want everybody voting. I want only U.S. citizen voting, and I want every vote to count one.
Well, every
That's
business
it.
audit, right? I mean,
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
scared of
They
that
should
word
be.
audit.
Yeah.
Auditing you could do for business. You could audit. You could even audit here. Like
Yes.
everybody could audit. And another last question, which is unorthodox now, because I heard the preacher, she was talking about, Bianca, about the church should do this. Isn't it? There's a tax element that holds them back for the churches not to be involved politically, because you could get involved on a personal level, but once you go nationally, they might cut off your tax incentive.
Yeah,
is
that's
that
it,
something
right.
you think about, or they?
Well,
Do you know anything about it?
you know what this is what I'm gonna say. When you decide to fight for this country
Yeah.
and for liberty and for religion liberty, they're going to be attacks, and you need to be willing to take all those attacks,
Right.
because we are not doing this just to for our businesses or for our churches. We're doing this because it's the right thing to do, and because God is telling us
God
to do
Almighty,
this.
yes.
So whatever rock He put in our way, we're going to kick it out of our way. I don't care what they do. We need to fight, and the pastors need to start getting stronger, bold. This is time of war. This is a spiritual war that we have in this country. We need to fight back.
Can you give us, because this is a last a few minutes, like 1 minute and a half, give us your full name, how they contact you, website, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, my name is Luis Pozzolo. I'm running for Congress in Congressional District 7 against Raul Grijalva. My website is luis4congress.com. Luis number 4 congress.com. You can use the email in my website and contact us anytime. Thank you.
As you know, we just wrapped up an interview with candidate Luis Pozzolo. He's running for Congress, as you well know, and this is what I gathered from the whole interview. He's fighting for your faith, he's fighting for your republic, he's fighting for your constitution, and he's fighting for your liberty. We're not even talking about freedom, because freedom, sometimes they put you in jail for a year or two, or whatever mistakes you've made, but at least the liberty would not let them keep you in there for more than 2 or 3 years, whatever the time is. So there's a difference between liberty and freedom and democracy. So we are talking about liberty, democracy given by corporations. And this is how I like to end my interview with Luis, because I see the fighter that he is, grassroots, that is trying to do the best he can. Today I'm representing allconservatives.com. We joined together today with Map Real Talk Show, just found this job. Map Real Talk Show with you, George, the host, George Nima. We in Southgate Church in Phoenix, Arizona, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you for watching.